Hello everyone. Today our topic is format underscore number function in PySpark. So we'll see how to format decimal values by using format underscore number function in PySpark. So this function is used to format numeric column to a specified number of decimal places, returning the result as a string. So if you see the syntax, format underscore number, and inside that we need to pass two arguments. One is column name and D. So col means the column name. The column name should be string or column object containing the numeric values to be formatted. And D is an integer representing the number of decimal places of for rounding. Suppose if you mention 1 here, so it will round off to 1 decimal. If you mention 3 here, it will round off to 3 decimals. So first I'm importing this format underscore number function from PySpark.sql.functions. So first example is how to format to 2 decimal places. So automatically rounds the values and adds comma separators and returns string. So that means we'll see here. So this is my sample data frame, and this one I'm creating with spark.create data frame. And inside this, I'm passing this data. And if you see this data, I have this is one value, so that is a tuple, and inside that I have only one value, and it is comma separated, and means it is comma. So when it become tuple is, since we have only single value, so this is one tuple, and this is one tuple, and this is one tuple. So since we have single value, if you keep comma, then it will become tuple with single value. So this data I'm passing here, and my column name is amount. So here, up to here, what will happen? It will create data frame with this particular single column. So column name is amount. And if you see the values, whatever I provided these values will get as it is here. And by default, it is detecting as double data type. And here I'll try to print schema also. So these decimal values, what will happen? So before that, I will run this particular cell, importing format underscore number. Then I will rerun this one. So first it will create the data frame with the decimal values. So if you see this one, and by default it detecting as double. And see here amount is double. So now on top of this, what I'm doing, df dot select. Df means this data frame, and here I'm using select, and I'm selecting this amount column. So on top of amount column, what I'm doing here, I'm using this format underscore number function on this amount column. So as per syntax, we need to provide the column name, and we need to provide the number of decimal values. So since I mentioned here, it will limit up to 2 decimals. See, since I mentioned 2. So actually here 4 decimals are there. After point, we have 4 decimal values. Since I mentioned 2, it will limit to 2 values. And here I have single decimal. Since we mentioned 2 decimal, so it will add a 0. So 5, 0. And here we have 4 decimal, and here it will limit to 2 decimal. And if you see one, or if you observe one more thing, here commas are separated to easily identify 1000. So you can identify as 1000, this is 9000, and this is 1 crore 23 lakh, like that. So that is mentioned here. It rounds the values and adds comma separators and returns string. And if you see, initially it is a double type, and after applying this particular function, it will convert to string type. So now it is not double data type. So whenever you apply format underscore number, it will convert to string type. So double to string type. So that you need to keep in mind. So that is this one. It returns string data type. And maybe I'll mention here string data type. Okay, so next, here what I'm doing, I'm creating one more data frame here. So what I will do, I will add here display, one more display. So to see what is our initial data frame, df1 and df1 print schema. So this is my first data frame by using spark.created data frame, and this data I'm passing here. So here I have tuples with two values. So that means I'm passing two columns. One is ID and number. So this is ID and this is number. So these are all number values. And here one none is there. And if you see the output, see my column is num and it detecting as double data type. And see the values we are getting. And since I mentioned none here, I'm getting null. And it 5.0, it reading as 5. So now on top of this, what I'm doing, I'm applying format underscore number function by using with column method. I'm trying to show different decimals. So for that, I given different column names. So on top of this initial data frame, so initial data frame, first I'm adding column. So formatted number, 0 decimals. So if I rerun this one, so number, this is first column. So formatted number, 0 decimals. So what I did here is format underscore number function, and inside that I mentioned the column name is num. So that is num, and I mentioned 0 decimals. So that means if you observe these two things, so my first value is this one. So after decimal, I have 4, after point, I have total 5 decimals. Since I mentioned 0, initially I mentioned 0, so my output won't be any decimals. See here, I don't have point and I don't have decimals. And here also, I have 4 decimals, but here nothing. So null, I will get null, and 5, I will get 5. And similar way, I'm trying adding one more column, that is formatted number 4 decimals. So here instead of 0, I'm giving 4. So now this value, what will happen? So I have 5 decimals here. So this 5 decimals, now it will limit to only 4 decimals. So it will omit this final decimal. And here we have 4, so we'll get 4. So null, this null will get null, and this 5, if you see here, 5.4 decimals will get. And one more column I'm adding, that is formatted number 7 decimals. For this 7 decimals, I given 7 here. And if you see here, this output, so this one, so here we have 5 decimals. Since I mentioned 7 decimals, so after 5 decimals, we'll get 2 zeros. So it will become total 7 decimals. And here we have 4 decimals and 4 plus 3, 3 zeros. So total 7 decimals. Null, we are getting null, and 5. So 5 is becoming 5 dot with 7 decimal zeros. And you can see the data type. So initial columns ID is long, num is double, and whatever you applied this format underscore string function for creating these 3 new columns. So these 3 are string data type. So next, format to 0 decimal places. So this we saw already with this one 0. So here applied on num column. So here I'm trying to apply on amount column. So same thing, df dot select. I think applied on this same data frame. I think 1 2 3 5 2 5. 1 2 3 5 2 5. I think not this data frame. I applied on first data frame. So that is this one on top of this amount column. So what I will do, instead of adding separately, I will add there itself. I will add here only, like amount. So this is with the 2 decimal, and here I will paste that one. And what is my column name here? Same amount only given, and alias is no decimal. So here I used select method, and there I used withColumn method. So what I'll do, instead of removing this, I will move up at one place. So let it be like one thing I created with column method, and second one it is created with select method. So for moving the cells, just move up, and for moving down, you just move down. So this one move down. So this is my first scenario. So what I'll do undo this. Okay, undo is not happening. I'll just simply remove this. Okay, and here, so here it is with the select method. Okay, I think here also select method. So I think we can combine here. So what I will do, I will move down here. Amount 0, no decimals, and display. You can write display here, or you can define to some new variable. df underscore format, one variable name I will give. So that I will rename here. Means I will define separately. Okay, so now what will happen? It will add one more column. I forget to add comma here. So this is formatted underscore amount. This is one column, and no decimals. So that is one column. And if you observe here, since I mentioned no decimals, it is rounded off. It is rounded off. And here it is not round it off. It is 0.5 is there. So here 0.5678 is there. It is rounded off. And here 45 is there. That means less than 0.5. So it is not rounded off. Okay, so that difference you can observe here. And at the same time here, since I given 2, and if you observe here 5678 is there, since I mentioned 2 decimals, so this whole thing it compressed to 57. So actually it should be 56, but after rounding off, this whole thing becoming 57, and here 58, this is fine, and here 4567 is there. So this means it is compressing to 46. Okay, so this I will remove this one. I will delete this one. Okay, so this we discussed, this we discussed, and next we'll come to group by and aggregate. So in group by and aggregate, for using sum function, first I'm importing this one, SQL sum function I'm importing from PySpark.sql.functions. So here I am using some sample data, and here I have 2 column values. This is one, this is one. So that is category, and this is amount. So initially what I will do, df underscore aggregate. Okay, first I will try to display this one, df underscore aggregate display. First, I will show the data frame with the schema. Okay, so first we'll see up to here. So here we have 2 columns. So one is category amount. So category amount, that relevant values are this one, and the relevant schema. So category is a string, amount is double. So now on top of this, what I'm doing, what I will do, I will move this code to separate window to avoid confusion. So here I'm creating just sample data frame. So remaining code I'm moving here, and so here what I'm doing, so this is my sample data frame. Here I'm using aggregate function. So what I'm doing here, group by with aggregation. So group by, and I am group by on category column. So this is our category column. So up to here, what will happen? So first it will group the values of category column. So in this category, so A it coming 2 times. So this it will make one group, and B. So this is one group now. So now we have 2 groups. So on top of that, here I mentioned dot aggregate function, and inside that what aggregate function I'm using, sum. So sum of amount. So that means what will happen now? So this is one category. So for this category, I am applying sum on this amount function. So it will add these 2 values and it will give you here. If I run this one, see here, it adding a category of 2 values. And if you add this one, 3000, and if you add this one, 1 will come. So 3001. So that we are getting. And since we have P is only one value, so we'll get same value. And maybe you can add some more value here, maybe different category. So here I added B 2 values and C 2 values. Maybe what I will do, I will add one more category with single value. So this I will mention D. So now if I rerun this one, so my data frame is updated now. So now what will happen? This 2A's. So this is one category, and after doing group by and sum, these two will get add, and next group is this one. These two values will get add, and for C, this is one category. These two values will get add, and D is single will get as it is. So here also what I will do, this piece of code I'll go to next window, next cell. If I try to run this one, so here we'll get four categories. So how I mentioned these categories, it will add the values. Since D is single, we'll get only 3500. And if you see data types, so this is string, this is a double. And this code, after doing group by and aggregation, what I'm doing, this is my result data frame, that is this one. On this result data frame, I'm using select function, and in select I'm using category. So directly I'm selecting category, and second column I'm creating by using this format underscore number function. So format underscore number function, I am passing the column name, that is total, and I'm mentioning as two decimals. So I want to limit up to two decimals. So all these values I want to limit up to two decimals. Since we are using select, and for new columns, we need to mention alias. So that is formatted underscore total. If you don't mention alias, it will take its own default column name. So if I run this one, so we'll get category as it is from here. And if you observe here, then otherwise what I will do, I will call total also to show the difference. So now total, my input column, total also coming. Now we applied format underscore number on this column. So initially it is double. After converting, it become string data type. And if you see the values, since I mentioned up to this is two decimals. So actually here, three decimal values are there. Since I limited up to two, we are getting 2, 4. So since this 2 is less than, sorry, greater means less than 5, so we'll get same value, 2, 4. And if you see here, 5, 7, 8, 3 decimal is there. We want to limit up to 2 decimal. And since this is greater than 5, so 579 is greater than 5. So it will round off to 5, 8. So 579, it will limit to 5, 8. And similarly here, this 9 is greater than 5, and it will limit up to 5, 1. See here, this whole things, this all decimals, it will reduce to 591. And similarly here, 4, 5, 6. So it is converting to 4, 6. Okay, so initially I showed how to apply format underscore number function directly on our sample column. So that is number column. So next what we discussed, I first applied group by and aggregate function. Then we applied format underscore number. So next we'll see what is the common mistakes we'll do. So after formatting, this will fail because now it's string data type. So if you need numeric rounding, so string formatting, it won't support. So for this, what we'll do is we'll import the round function from PySpark.sql.functions. So first we'll see how it will fail. Now, initially I have results underscore final. So where is that? This one. So results underscore final, and dot select. amount. So we don't have amount in this. We'll see first column amount. So amount is here. So I will change to this one, df underscore format, df underscore format, or otherwise what we can do is, okay, let it be df underscore format. So the value of the type string cannot be cached to big integer. So what it means, for so since data frame is above, what I will do, I will display here for easily understanding what is our sample data frame, df underscore format. So it's supposed to be df. So same data frame I will create here. First I will create this data frame, df what I'll give string, I'll give df underscore string. So now I have this amount column. So this one I will modify to df underscore string. So here what I'm doing, on top of this data frame, I'm using select method and I'm using format underscore number to create one more column. Maybe what I can do, I'll add amount here. First picking input column, that is amount. So on top of this amount, I want to create one more column. So that is this one, by using format underscore number function. So format underscore number on top of this amount column, and I want to limit up to 2 decimals. And after limiting that, I want to add 100 to this. So here, what I will do before that, I'll show you without that plus 2. No, sorry, plus 100. So if I mention without 100, it will generate. So you will get the output. See here, since I am not given alias here, it took default column name. So format underscore number amount 2. So that means this whole thing it took as column name. So to avoid that, we generally give alias number here. Mainly whenever you use functions like select, aggregate functions, we'll use alias here. So alias, my column name is format underscore this. So if I run this column name will get changed. See here now format underscore decimal, and this is my output. So it limiting up to 2 levels. And if you see, this is string type. And here, what I'm doing, I will comment it out this one, and I will do uncomment of this one. If I try to run this one, I will get the error. So what it telling, the value 1234.57. So that means, so whatever the output coming here, so what I will do, I will create separately to show what is the error. So this is format underscore decimal. So that means what it trying, first select amount column is there. So here there is no problem to select this input column from this data frame. And next what I'm doing, next I'm trying to create one more column, that is this particular column, by using this one. So format number plus 100. Okay. So here what I'm doing, yeah, so column name is it. Now what I'm doing, first up to here it will create. See, up to here it is creating. So that means this one. So internally for Spark is column output is this one up to here. Then what it doing? It trying to add 100 to each value. So whenever it trying to add 100 to this particular value, so that is 1234.57. So whenever it trying to add 100, first it trying to this value. When it trying to add this value, it found that this is string type. So this value is string type. So cannot be cached to big integer. So whatever this 100 is big integer. So string data type and big integer data type, it cannot be combined. So what it telling of the string type cannot be cached to big int because it is small font. So it's suggesting to use try underscore cast function to use this one. So you will get error like this after applying format underscore number. And if you try to add some integer value, it will give you error like this. So, so now what is the conclusion is, if you want to do rounding off, this kind of rounding off, it's better to use round option. So this is numeric rounding and B round is there, that is bankers rounding, and format underscore number. So whatever we discussed, this one, format underscore number, it will give you string formatting, and format underscore string function is there, that is custom format. So now you can decide which function need to use, either round function or format underscore number function. So if you want output as the string data type, you can use this format underscore number function. So if you want output as the integer value, then you use round function. So instead of format underscore number, you use round function. So that's all about this video on how to use format underscore number function. So if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.